Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And I don't know if you've been shopping at TJ Maxx recently, but if you've been in the makeup section, they have all the things. Today we're going to go over some recent purchases, do a little makeup look, and talk about some ooky spooky Halloween stuff. Stay tuned. All right, I have gotten some pizza, I've got my cocktail, I'm all settled, and I'm ready to begin. How is everybody doing today? I am doing quite well. It's Monday here on when I'm filming this video, and it was a long Monday. Work has been really crazy. I work in advertising. I'm actually an account manager, so I manage the relationship between our advertising agency and the client. And I work for an agency that specializes in auto dealerships. So I spend a lot of time looking at used vehicles and the prices and formulating emails and coordinating and doing all kinds of things. So in the evenings, I just love sitting down here with you guys and doing some makeup, just really finding my flow. So today I was thinking that we could kind of talk about some recent TJ Maxx purchases that I did. I have been totally blown away by the type of stuff that I've seen at TJ Maxx recently. I have not loved the makeup selection at like Ross or Marshall's or Burlington or some of those other stores that are in that realm, but for whatever reason, TJ Maxx seems to always get the best makeup ever, and today is a great example of that. So this last weekend, I went to TJ Maxx, and I go there maybe once every few days. There's one maybe 10 minutes away, and it's not a huge TJ Maxx. It's just a regular sized one. But every now and then they have some amazing stuff. So I'll show you some of the things I got today, do a little makeup look. But before we get started, let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think about buying makeup at some of these like third party stores where it's like Ross or Burlington, and sometimes you see makeup brands there that you're like, is this even a real brand, or like what is this? Let me know what you guys think. I'm kind of on the fence about some of the makeup I've seen at other stores. I see some collabs with celebrities. I see like Paris Hilton eyeshadow palettes that look like they're from 2007. I don't know. I've got a little thing going on with TJ Maxx recently, so let me know down below what you guys think. But now let's get into some of our recent purchases. So this is something I got for I think like $12 or $13. This is a Pat McGrath blush. Yes, I said that correct. Pat McGrath at TJ Maxx right now. Every so often I go there and I see, and I've seen some other YouTubers that have been saying that Pat McGrath might be in sort of a flop area. Pat McGrath has been in kind of a flop era recently, where they're kind of just serving us the same muted pink palettes, just kind of the same stuff. I know that they came into Sephora recently, and that's great. Maybe that extra exposure will encourage them to do more exciting things. But for now, I think Pat McGrath is kind of in a flop era. So some of their products have been getting sent to these stores like TJ Maxx and Ross and all those. And so we've popped up with some things like this. So this is a Pat McGrath blush. And it's in the color, it's not in the color Fabulous Flirtations and Sexquisite Seductions, that's for sure, that's what it says on the back. No, I think this is in Divine Rose. Oh, Divine Rose. So, I'll show you it here. It is a great, it's just a really nice sort of muted pink. It does look maybe a little bit more pink on camera than it does in real life. I mean, I just have foundation on right now, so I'm probably pretty flushed of color, but something that's like this would look so good. So love to see stuff like this in TJ Maxx. I know some people say that the makeup that you find at TJ Maxx might be like really old or whatever. Let me know what you guys think about that. I do think that sometimes, I see products and I'm like, okay, obviously I've been seeing this a lot. This is obviously a company that never sells their stuff very well. I'm always seeing it at TJ Maxx. But then when I see stuff like this, it just makes me think like, okay, well, maybe they just didn't sell as much of like this particular set. Because it's not that this is like an ugly blush or anything, so I can't imagine like it would just sit there. But all right, so the second thing I'm going to cover is actually also Pat McGrath. I've seen multiple different Pat McGrath items at TJ Maxx recently. I've seen lip products, I've seen palettes, I've seen highlighters and blushes. So this is a highlighter that I got also from TJ Maxx. Apparently this is like a TJ Maxx video, I swear. But this is the highlight. It's a highlighter. It's the Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlighter in this shade Venetian Nude, which looks pretty nice. I think it's fine. I think I was more excited to see Pat McGrath in TJ Maxx, and I think that's more of why I bought it. It's not usually the highlighter color that I like to use, where I usually like a more like in-your-face, see it from space highlighter, like from Rare Beauty, the Soft Touch highlighter. No, that's not the name of it, but the highlighter that everyone's been talking about. I think Anastasia makes a great highlighter too. Obviously, indie brands make great highlighters. But now I'm going to get into the second couple things that I got from TJ Maxx, which is Glamlite palettes. I did not realize that you could find indie brands at TJ Maxx as well, but you can, and I've seen multiple there. And when I've gone there, I've seen some Glamlite palettes before. I actually got their Frosted Flakes palette from TJ Maxx for a deep discount. It came in that wonderful cardboard box. But this time I found these, which I thought they were not available anymore, but they actually are. These are the Icee Cherry Palette and Blue Raspberry Palette. These look so cool, and when I saw these, I just knew I had to buy them. These actually are still for sale. It doesn't mean that these are old or anything, but online these are like $25 each. If you were to buy both of these, it would be $50. And when I bought these at TJ Maxx, they were $10 each, so it was like $20 for these together. So if you're not checking out TJ Maxx for some of your makeup items, you've got to be doing it. Okay, that is the last thing I will say about TJ Maxx. I swear, I go there too often. I don't want this to be a TJ Maxx channel, but just absolutely love the makeup you can get there. Just take a look at the red Glamlite palette. That is so freaking pretty. Some of these colors are turning out, it looks like almost a little bit orange on camera, but just a really fun color story. I cannot wait to use this palette on like Valentine's Day or something like that. And then take a look at the blue one. The blue one has this like almost undersea or like Arctic icy vibe. I mean, literally icy vibe. But it just, I love these types of colors, and I almost wish I didn't have the Frosted Flakes palette as well, because the blues in this palette I can tell are so pigmented. I cannot wait to dive into this. All right, so before I get started, I'm going to use one of my favorite eye primers that I have had for quite a while now, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills eye primer. I'm pretty sure it's still for sale. It comes in this neat silvery bottle that's fairly small, but you'd be surprised. I mean, it lasts for a long time. I've had this for a long time, and there was a time when this was the only eye primer that I used. And what I like best about this eye primer that I haven't seen in a lot of other eye primers is that it actually has a pretty heavy coverage and really lightens above the eyes, like where you put it, where some of the other ones, like the Hydro Grip eye primer from Milk, and I tried on like a Too Faced eye primer, and I know it's like a different type of eye primer probably, but when you're doing like a colorful look, actually getting a base of white on your eyes is really important. And I just love the way that this one blends down into like a powder. It gets really smooth and is a great base for other eyeshadow to go on top of. So I'm just going to go in with a little of this. And to use like liquid eye primers like this, I don't see this explained in a lot of other makeup videos, but I have, sometimes when you squirt it out on your finger, it's like way too much and you end up just spreading it everywhere and it's way too much product. A way to prevent that is to put it on your finger and then you kind of, let's see if I can do this on camera. You kind of use this to like wipe it almost like a pen and make it a thinner layer on your finger, and then you can go in on your eyelid. And it's much more controllable. Pigment. Thank you. And while this is drying down, guys, let me know. I know I keep saying, like, let me know down in the comments below, but I'm new to YouTube and I'm new to being able to talk about this with other people. So please do let me know down in the comments. Do you guys eye primers that are like this? Or do you like eye primers that are like others that are more of just like a liquid, but then they get grippy? And I don't even think the Hydro Grip Primer by Milk gets that grippy. You can fight me on that, but I don't think it does. All right, well, this has dried down a little bit, so let's get going in on probably this side first. And for that, I'm going to use the blue palette, which again, just so pretty. I don't know. Whoa. God, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I should do more of like a teal look or like just like a blue. I think I'm just going to do like a blue look. So to start that, I'm going to go in with the darkest shade of blue I see in this palette, which is Melted here in the corner. And I'm going to do that in the inner corners. And then I think I'm going to go in with Blue Raspberry, which is here, and kind of blend that out. And then I'm going to go in with Frozenated, which is here, and use that for more blending. And then I think I'm just going to go straight in with the brightest shimmer they have in this palette, which is up here in the corner, Chillin'. Love all those names. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I see like 5 or 6 different like eye looks in this palette, so you'll probably be seeing this again on my channel. But for now, let's jump into just that regular blue look. So again, I'm just going to go in with that super deep, intense blue. It's almost like a royal blue. That pigment is just really intense. It's intimidating, 100% intimidating to put on a pigment that is this intense. I went on the outer corner and then I sort of brought it into the crease, which will decrease with the intensity will decrease as I put the other colors on. But I think that's generally as deep as I'm going to go, which it is a very nice deep blue. And I just realized that I did blue on both of my eyes when I was supposed to do a red look on one eye. Okay, and we're just gonna keep on keeping on this channel. All right, let's get going on the rest of this blue makeup look. All right, so scariest moment ever. I think my scariest moment ever was probably on a Christian Bible camp experience that I had like in 7th or 8th grade. And we were taken to a mountaintop where we would go like hike for like hours. It was like a backpacking adventure type Bible camp trip, and we had to like pay extra to go on these like adventure trips. And I just remember like our tent got infested with bees, and like hiking up there, like the mosquitoes on the way up there were the biggest mosquitoes I've ever seen like in my entire life. And when we got to the top, we found out that we didn't have any tents or anything with us, so we had to sleep like on the forest floor, which was terrifying as a 7th grader to like just go to sleep on the forest floor with no protection. I'm sure that's normal for some other people that are used to something like that. I'm not used to that. And I just remember going to sleep that night and I heard some like rustling in the bushes, and I thought like, oh, like maybe it's a deer or something like that, or something sort of like cute to see in the forest at nighttime, but it was not. It was a cougar, and it just like walked through the middle of our campsite when we were sleeping there. And I just remember when it was walking through and I was just literally laying on the forest floor, maybe like 25, 35 feet away from that animal, I was just like, holy crap, if I even move, it might see me or like smell me or something. And just like sitting there being paralyzed with fear was like terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. All right, so I went in with some of that darker blue and then some of the lighter blue around the edges to create a little bit of like an eye dimension shape-ish. So now I think I'm gonna go in with that super bright blue color right here in the middle. I'm curious what sort of scary experiences other people have that they can look back with, in a good way, not like, don't share it with me if it's like still causing you trauma. I don't want to bring that up in people. But I don't know. Is your house haunted? Is maybe your car is haunted? What's going on? Maybe you've got like a deceased relative that visits you or something. Let me know about it. I'm curious. So that's looking really good. I love the way that looks. Ooh. Yeah, that shimmer is really nice. It's maybe not as bright as I thought it was going to be, or at least as bright as I think maybe a shimmer in this palette should be. I do think there should be like almost like a white shimmer in here, where the lightest one is this blue, which is the one I used, which yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's nice. I love this. Can't wait to use more of it. All right, now let's go in with that red palette, which is just, again, it's perfect for like Valentine's Day or something like that. It's the ultimate cherry palette. And I have a feeling some of these reds are ultra pigmented. So I'm going to use my little dish brush rubber color changer here, which again, you can get at any grocery store. You don't need to buy one from a makeup company. And then I'm going to go in with my red. So I think again, I'm just going to go in with like the deepest color in this palette, which is Treat. This one here. Interesting. This one looks so much, I think these two look so much deeper, but, well, I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe I'll go in with Sweet. I think Sweet might be slightly deeper. So I'm going to go in with the Sweet. It's a little bit more of a purpley red, but very intense, I can tell. So that was my most scary moment, and I know there are moments for other people that are far scarier, but tell me about them. This time I'm going to go in with just a little bit more, even more color this time, because this looks good, but I want it to just be even bolder. I have like a big problem with like, I am a perfectionist, so I always want it to look really good, and so I'm afraid to like go in with a lot of color or like do something kind of like edgy because I'm afraid of it like not looking perfect. And if you saw my last video, you're like, what are you talking about? Perfect. All right, so sort of like blended that dark one in. Now I'm going to go in with Cool Taste, which is this light one right here. Just do that as sort of like a transition shade a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good so far, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with this brightest shade, which is White Cherry. It has sort of a white with a little bit of a, I don't know if you can really see it on camera. It's white with a very slight sort of pink duochrome. Yeah, you can probably see it better there. Ooh. Well, a little patchy in that first swipe, but it's really pretty. Yeah, it's pretty, but I think I would really just use this as a topper. I almost wish I had gone over the eye with something darker and then used this bright one on top. It's definitely just a topper. I don't know if I'm going to be able to build it up. Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I definitely should have done this over a color. So I think if I was to do this again, I would do one of these more like red colors, like Wild Cherry, and I would go like all over the eye pretty much, and then I would use some of these other shades as like toppers on them. I think this looks fine, but it would look better, I think, if I had done that. And I guess I do wish that there was something a little bit brighter and more nude, maybe just like one color in here to help blend out. I mean, it looks fine, but red, it can be difficult to not look like you got punched in the face. I mean, I guess blue too, but... Those are the Glamlite palettes I got for $10 each at TJ Maxx. You should go pick them up if you can find them. They're probably selling out pretty quickly, so you'll have to go get one, but so far, I'm really loving these. All right, so let's get into some of the other purchases I made at TJ Maxx, which I'm gonna get into this Venetian Nude Divine Rose blush, which I've never tried a Pat McGrath blush before, so my expectations are sky high. Let's see. When I swatched it on my hand, maybe I'll swatch a little on my hand first. Excuse me. There's like nothing happening. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe this is like really hard pressed or something. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's very, like, I think it would be difficult to overdo it with this blush, which I actually love. This is definitely a blush that I would wear on like a regular day because it's easy to sort of put on very mildly. Kind of makes me want to just keep going. Yeah, that's pretty. And when I'm putting on blush, I tend to like use a brush, but then I sort of like twist it at the same time. So I'm sort of like, let me know, do you guys think that Pat McGrath is in a flop era? I actually do think they are. When they came out with their Sunlit Seduction, which was like literally the same as the Moonlit Seduction, I was like, okay, I am literally done caring about this brand. I'm glad that they're at TJ Maxx and places like that, because that's the only time that I would honestly buy them, because, you know, their qualities are good, but indie quality is so much better, you guys. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think this is looking fine. I think this is looking quite natural. Yeah, overall, I like this blush. I mean, it does kind of like take a lot to really get it on. It does look a little intense on camera, but overall, I like it. This is definitely something that I would wear like even on a work day when I'm going to be on camera, just adding a little bit of life to your face. Yeah, I like it. All right, so now I'm going to go in with the Pat McGrath highlighter that I bought. And what I did not like about this highlighter when I first tried it was that it was a little bit glittery, which I was surprised because I thought the Pat McGrath would be sort of like, I don't know, finely milled, sort of like the Rare Beauty one. But this one was just sort of like glittery. So we'll see if that does kind of like the same thing. I mean, it does give a pretty highlight. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it works really well on top of the Pat McGrath blush. Yeah, it's definitely working a lot better. It's working a lot better in this application than when I did it the first time. All right, well, that's all I had for products I got from TJ Maxx. Now I'm going to break into probably one of my one size palettes to bronze with. This palette I've had for a little while. This is the Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio in the shade Fair Trio. And I've liked this in the past. I've tried some other bronzers that I like more. It might have more to do with the shade than the formula. But I typically go in with this sort of reddish shade for my deepest corners. And then I go in with this bottom shade for kind of everywhere else. All right, well, I think I'm looking sufficiently bronzed. So now I think I'm pretty much done. I'm just going to do a little mascara and we'll be finished. All right, so now I'm just going to finish up by going in with my favorite drugstore finishing spray, setting spray, which is the Dewy Coconut Setting Mist by e.l.f. I think it just smells so good. I've had this for a while. Alright, well that is the finished look. Kind of a long video today, guys, but considering that these palettes were inspired by slushies, I think it was a pretty good day for makeup. Alright, well that's all I've got today. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you subscribe to my video to make sure that you get more of these videos in your feed, in your YouTube feed. I'm new to YouTube, so if it doesn't mean too much to you, please subscribe to me. Otherwise, I will see you guys when we hang out next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.